So, welcome again. Today, I'll be giving you all the introductions simply because, my predictions came out true, like all of them, because I talk out of reasoning, unlike our.
I was three-fourth right.
No, no, no. Even you were three-fourth correct. You took Arsenal. You picked Arsenal over Villarreal. Only Araf picked Villarreal. You were 3 out of 4.
I
Well,
remember.
I'm no one to talk. I was 1 out of 4.
Yeah,
But at least
exactly.
I got
Again,
the one I wanted to get right.
you
Right.
were
United for the final. United went to the final.
you
That's
were
all
the
I
one
wanted.
that was very obvious to get through. Nobody chokes a four-goal lead, even though it was close. Okay, 3-2 somewhere Roma was trying to find that, but like again, doesn't matter now. Anyways, so let's start this with UEFA. What were those games, man? I mean, both of the team had the same story where when one of them were in the lead or like under the pressure, the second team just succumbed. And like, come on, Paris, that was some bad sportsmanship in the like last 20 minutes. Like, what was that?
So not exactly about
If you're going to
sportsmanship,
make them
but
play in snow in May,
What?
go
they
ahead.
played in snow in May.
Apart from
That was
extreme
in their
weather
own stadium, was it
conditions.
not?
I mean, did you even see
No, no.
how trash they were playing at a time? Like involving fights just because they were losing and like trying to get something out of it. I don't even know. Like you were down goals, you were getting red cards, and you still wanted to have more fights just to. What was the?
Is it not understandable because they were absolutely frustrated from the first leg where they gave up two unnecessary goals, which in my opinion they should never. A hole in the wall and a ghost goal type. In the second leg, they started so well when Di Mario missed that open goal, if you want to say. They hit the post. Marquinhos flicked over the bar from a corner. So they were frustrated because of the chances they had missed. And in my opinion, they could have easily won if they were better finishing and maybe just a little bit more composed in defense. But you can't give a team like as good as City second chances or give them even a sniff to get back in the game. So they
You can if you're
grabbed the game
United
by the
because they
scruff
still
of the
go on to
neck
win.
and they
So
won.
Yeah, we are talking about UEFA. Arjun. United is in Europe.
I know, but still, if United have given City a lot of chances, yet United always win. So
Agreed, but like
not
this
true.
was a different kind of City which was playing. Like especially the defense. Like Zinchenko, Diaz, everyone was on point. I didn't see a single except the first Di Maria play. I agree that was a good play, but the offense held up because the defense was strong and like it backed up and like that is what we also saw in the second game, which was Chelsea versus Madrid. I mean, come on, Chelsea just showed a different team on that very day when everything works
So
out.
yeah. So Chelsea have been brilliant under Tuchel defensively and offensively. Lately, they've been scoring a couple of goals to set up ties pretty well. So from the first leg, again, they played pretty well, unlucky not to go in with the lead. And in the second leg, they just covered up Benzema pretty well, and that's it. Real never looked like scoring throughout the game. They probably had one chance from long range, but except that, they played pretty well. And Chelsea, I think, were deserved winners in the end.
Well, it is the battle. It is a battle of two poisons basically for me, and I would rather pick Chelsea over City because I can't see. I just don't want City to win anything but City winning. I
I
mean,
am
Chelsea have won it
So,
before. They won it with Di Matteo. I mean, they had a dismal season, yet they still won the Champions League under him. It might be the same with Tuchel. So just I'm a Chelsea fan for that one game, 90 minutes, and
I
then
think Aguero is gonna finally like land his words and say that yes, I'm gonna get you a Champions League trophy. I think he said that in 20. I don't remember the year, but he said
quote
yeah.
well,
unquote.
okay, well. I think that takes the I think that is the boring part of the City and Chelsea games out of the way. Now let's get to the fun part. Arsenal choke the lead. Not choke the lead, but they choke everything. I mean, they didn't have a lead, but Arsenal. I mean, it's fun to talk about Arsenal. Nobody supports Arsenal here. Nobody will talk trash, or even they might. But what will they talk trash about?
Ninth in the
Oh,
So, in the
league.
Aubameyang in
first,
the post two times.
I think
They
their
lost to
loss was
Villarreal.
pretty
I mean,
understandable. No, but
seriously, a team
Villarreal
with
have been
a
pretty high
old
flying
Raul
lately.
Albiol who
La
looks
Liga.
like somebody's grandfather in defense.
But they've been high flying in La Liga lately, pretty well. producing good results. Also, Arsenal were without Aubameyang and Lacazette in the first leg.
Aubameyang
And
was
they were
playing. He
relying
hit the post twice.
No, in the first leg. I'm talking about the first leg. So in the first leg, he didn't
Doesn't
play.
matter. I mean, if you
So
spend
they were
72
in the
million
first
on
leg.
a winger, then you expect him to come good, right?
In the
Arsenal shouldn't be
first
making
leg,
excuses. Oh, we didn't have Aubameyang. Come
in
on.
the first leg, their result was justified. In the second leg, I'd quote them as a little unlucky because, as you mentioned, that Aubameyang hit the post twice, and from range, Pepe missed a couple of chances that he could have scored. So
But again,
they
he
have my
didn't score,
sympathies,
right?
but
He did
again, no
not
one cares
score.
about Arsenal. So
He did
that's
not score. Bottle
Look,
jobs.
I think in like Arsenal's defense, Villarreal are like okay, nobody supports Arsenal, ninth in the league, no championship for the next
no,
year
actually,
now.
they
Championship,
are the big
As in
club in
Champions
London.
League.
So
League, yeah, not even Europe for that matter. But the thing about the last game was Villarreal actually played like a Spanish side. They included a high possession, high passing game, and that's why I think it was a
Good
0-0.
evening.
Hmm?
Don't you know the Unai Emery joke?
good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Oh,
That's what he did
Do
to
you think
Arsenal.
Arteta should get sacked because of the poor run of
I
results,
don't.
finishing
I
almost
couldn't care
10th
less.
in
I'm
the
just. I'm
league,
just. After
going in
every
the third
Arsenal loss, I
UEFA
log in into AFTV and watch all their rants about Arsenal losing. Genuinely, it provides my daily entertainment because that's how frequently Arsenal lose, like every week, at least twice. So I mean, it's fun. It's fun talking about Arsenal and then losing,
I think
and
Arsenal's
then
gonna like there are a lot of rumors
Well,
that
that's
Arsenal's gonna be involved in a lot of
United supporting
transfers.
talking. But they do have my sympathies, as if I'm being
We could have
totally
had an
honest.
all English final, like Europe
no, I
final.
didn't want that. I told you last week. The thing I dreaded was an all English final because in a one-legged match anything could happen. And I want Maguire to win that trophy. I want Oli to win his first trophy as a manager. And that is literally what I'm hoping for.
If Villarreal,
So I think we had all
The guy's a
counted
legend.
out
He's
from
won
the
everything, and
first leg.
I want him to win something as a manager and then kick on, then win the Prem, win the Champions League multiple times.
if Villarreal somehow in
That's a
that
dream to say the least.
what?
Good dream to have.
It's not a dream. If we genuinely if we win the Europa League final, we get Sancho, we get Declan Rice, and say we get Pau Torres, we get three of them, we might compete for the title next season easily. We were
We've
competing
been
for the
linked
title.
with Harry Kane
No,
for 85 million.
85. They
And
won't take 85. He has 4 years remaining on his
85
contract. That's the problem.
But then they'll be out of the
The minimum
Champions
they'll
League
take is
or
about
Europa.
150. He's in his prime, and he's Tottenham's gem. If he and Son goes, Tottenham are no better than an Aston Villa.
But surely he'll hand in a transfer request, right?
He won't. That's why. Because if he hand,
If a
you
club,
remember when Rooney handed in a transfer request, the fans started hating him in 2010, 2011,
Do you think
when he
that
thought that we weren't challenging enough, or like we weren't challenging for the top honors, even though we had reached the Champions League final for 3 years in a row. We had won every Premier League title. He said that we should pursue Mesut Ozil, which really wasn't his decision. It was up to Sir Alex, and that's what he said to him. It's not your thing to say. It's what I do. If I want to, I'll go after him. And then obviously it fell out, but fans started hating him, and Kane wouldn't want to do that. He's a loyal. What what what, what do you call a Spur? I mean, I don't know.
well,
Loyal
Tottenham
Tottenham Hotspur
does he
player.
want to be loyal or does he
Coy?
want to
Is
win
that
something
is that what
for
you
the
call
year?
them now?
look, I
Yeah,
mean,
but
I don't know about United, but like one of the times I heard that they're trying to target Lewandowski. So like, where will they even fit in?
no,
Lewandowski.
I mean, I think there's a I think United, somebody inside United said, or somebody leaked something. Somebody inside United leaked some information outside that we want to sign a striker next season. So the only thing the press can do is link United to every striker in the world. Every striker. They even linked United to Andrea Bellotti. I mean, that is how far they went. Any striker who's doing well in Europe, United want him.
Talking
Dominic
about
Calvert-Lewin,
talking about
Harry
United,
Kane,
does
Erling
anybody want
Haaland,
to
everyone.
does anybody want to put light on the United stadium getting marched upon the United fans?
Yeah, so for anyone who may not know what happened, on the day of the United v Liverpool game, about say 7,000-8,000 fans came around Old Trafford to protest against the Glazer regime, and they broke into the stadium. They broke onto the pitch, and because of COVID
Only about
protocols,
200 fans.
yeah, I mean, not all of them. 200 fans broke onto the pitch. There were like 7,000-8,000 still outside the stadium, and they swarmed the Lowry Hotel where United were staying, and they didn't let the team bus move. And they swarmed, and about 100-200 swarmed the stadium. And because of COVID protocols, because they'd gone into the dressing rooms, they'd gone onto the pitch, they'd gone onto the stands, the game had to be postponed to 13th May. So, which means United have 3 games in 5 days. What are your reactions on that? That is just unprecedented. Never happened before.
So on the fan protest, I think it's pretty justified. It's all the pent-up frustration for 15 years of the, not 15, but or about the last 10 years when the green and gold protests first started. And yeah, the fixture schedule has been pretty messed up now. As Ole pointed out in his latest press conference, we're playing 3 games in 5 days, 4 games in 8 days. And we're playing some pretty good teams: Leicester, Liverpool, as high-flying Aston
Aston Villa
Villa.
better than Arsenal.
So that's
We're gonna
debatable, but I'll give you
continuously
that.
throw shade at Arsenal throughout this whole. Look, I think
So
the march was
go
very
ahead.
much justified. It's just showing us the power of fans. I mean, they want something, they will take it. This is like a new form of protest after the whole ESL. It's just showing that fans have the power. But then again, now because of these same fans, United might just suffer their chances at the Premier League title.
We will
We weren't
never
challenging the Premier League title,
say
but
it.
I'm completely with the fans on this. I myself am a fan, and especially in India, some people might be salty because the COVID situation here is really bad, and the IPL has got cancelled, and everyone's looking forward to a bit of Sunday evening action, and then the game gets postponed. But then you have to look at the bigger picture. If you're a City fan, and which means you're a plastic fan, that's what you would do. But if you're a United fan, then you would completely support the fans, because one game, it's either that one Liverpool game, or it's either your club, and you obviously will take your club over the game unless you're a City supporter. So completely justified, pent up frustrations taken out, and it it has to, and more protests have to happen now, because you can't just stop at this one. The Sky Sports reporter, she confronted that Avram Glazer in Florida, and he didn't say
Florida,
anything.
yeah.
He looked smug, got into his Aston Martin DBX, and just went away. So,
Well, to point out, I think Arjun versus Man City reminds me a lot of Rob Parker versus Tom Brady if you follow the NFL. It's absolutely hilarious. But to get back to the point, yeah, I think I agree that fan protests are becoming the new norm, and they have told us that they've planned this for about 2-3 more
yeah, and they
games of
have
the
to
remaining
happen.
season, and we should not be surprised if this happens again.
You have to keep this
Because
momentum going.
the frustration against Glazers is real, and the green and gold protests will keep going on.
I think they're also planning sponsorship boycotts, where I think TeamViewer or something which has sponsored us. They're planning to give them 1-star reviews, telling everyone that they are, do not buy this, do not buy that. So basically
Well,
telling whoever
it
sponsors
also
United
looks pretty
to,
bad on the kit.
yeah, exactly. I mean, one thing, fan protests outside Old Trafford might not impact the Glazer, but 28% of 20 after the protest, the what's the name? TeamViewer. Its share price plummeted 28%. 28. And I mean, seriously, and then the only thing that really matters to Glazer are the financials, because that is what they're here for, to make money and do nothing else. They're not
Yeah,
put a
they've made United
single
a
cent into the
football.
club. And Gary Neville
They've
very
made
correctly
United
said that
a
they're literally
business instead of
scavengers.
a football.
Exactly. It's
It's
a
mind
horror show.
blowing for
I think somehow
yeah.
football or at least Premier League, like how German league has the fans have a 51% share in the football team they are belong to. I think similarly, English Premier
Yeah,
League should
but
have
if
something for the fans.
you were obviously talking about the 50 plus 1% share. I want to ask you this. The only the difference between having a 50 plus 1% share and a private ownership is the competitiveness. And if you have, say, a 50+1 share, then the big clubs stay the big clubs, and a bottom club has no chance of winning the title. While in England, every club has a chance to beat each other because they're backed by private ownership. So I mean, this is a trade-off to do. What do you think about it? I mean, is this a trade-off
I don't
worth
think
making
the
or
50
or
plus
no?
1 rule is going to affect it too much, because all it's going to do is restrict the club from making such decisions kept in the secret like the European Super League. But in terms of transfers, in terms of competing for the league, I don't think it's going to perform
Um,
any deals.
I think what I believe is that before any, say, an American conglomerate takes over a club, there has to be some background checks. There has to be some kind of defense mechanism which stops such people buying up football clubs and treating them as franchises. it, and something has to somebody has to they people have to be given um, say, season ticket holders need to be given seats on the board to veto such decisions of, say, someone like the Glazers buying a club.
Yeah, I think not veto, but like I get your point. I think some share, like not even like 50 plus one, like some part of the decision should be involved with the fans,
Yeah.
because ultimately, if like these fans are upholding how they rejected ESL was, it's not what the fans want. How UEFA confronted ESL, it's what the fans don't want. Like it's not like everyone didn't want it, but a majority of them didn't want. Similarly, a majority should have some share in the club. 50 plus one, maybe 33, maybe 20, maybe some form of communication where the fans can communicate what they
you
want for
know
insight from the club.
what you just said about the Premier League and the Super League, the hypocrisy of the Premier League. I mean, I just can't believe it, because when the Super League was coming out, the Premier League was, just tweeting, it was handing out statements saying this is bad, this shouldn't happen. People need to get out. They didn't say this, but basically what they were saying is people need to protest. And when the Super League protest happened and it got scrapped, they were very happy. But then when Man United fans continued that protest, no, you're not allowing this. Here, have 3 games in 5 days. That is a sheer hypocrisy of the Premier League. I mean,
That's
all
what happened.
again, it is no different than the owners. It just cares about themselves. And looking at United's schedule, I'm genuinely scared, because I think we have 3 games coming. Sunday against Aston Villa, Tuesday against Leicester, and Thursday against Liverpool.
I mean,
Extremely tough games. I mean, what do you think Oli will do? How will he rotate?
if Oli pulls something off,
Well, certainly he's going to play quite a few youngsters in the coming up games. And I think everyone knows that. And he's addressed it in the press conference saying that don't be surprised if Champions League race is distorted because of some teams facing a more challenging United game versus some teams facing a bunch of teenagers who they can beat. Also, I want to point out that this weekend, a lot of Premier League teams and other sports, including F1, went into a social media boycott to prevent racism or to show the stand against racism. So, what are your thoughts on it? Because I'm completely for it, because racism has no part in any
I'm
sport
I
and
think
it should be
I think
completely
I
banned.
think we both will agree with you that racism has no part in any sport or anywhere in the world.
yeah,
But
I think
what I feel is that these social media boycotts or taking a knee, or just these measures don't even scrape the surface. I mean, racism is a thing that you can't the Premier League can't tackle it because it comes through social media. That's the problem. It comes through social media, and the only way it can be tackled is social media companies. Every manager, every player has said this. Social media companies need to do a background check before somebody can open a fake account and start abusing people. That is the only way it can be stopped. Not through these are good ideas, and these are noble ideas, but I don't think they'll get us anywhere in terms of racism, because
So, quite
only
a
the social
few
media companies will do
players
anything.
all round quite a few players all around have quit their social media accounts in support of this indefinitely, and I think they're pretty correct in doing so. And they've called on all social medias like Instagram and Facebook, in which people can create multiple accounts and hide behind their screen an imaginary wall and call players unnamed stuff. which is pretty devastating to see. So I don't think, I don't think that there's too much that these big companies can do, but they must try whatever they're being told, because racism has to be ended some way, somehow.
Yeah,
It has
and
to.
like my thing is,
Yeah, continue.
it's not like even if social media can't do anything, I think Premier League as its own has some ownership, or all the leagues, or all the like football franchises, UEFA, Premier League, La Liga, to uphold the spirit of the game, because the game is more about creating an experience that like provocates better behavior or sportsmanship, individualism. All of them are combined in a sport like football. It's the most minimalistic sport where you just require the ball itself and two pillars or two cones. It's all over the world. It's the most watched sport. And if a sport like football has issues like racism, it's just talking about what we are as a society. And I think Premier League or other teams should like take account of on-field racism at least, because at the end of the day, we all know that people will continue to say stuff even if you are from a particular race or particular genre, particular like place. People will continue to say things, but then again, it all depends
Yeah,
on.
I mean, whatever you said is I completely agree with it. But unlike the Super League, racism isn't a tangible thing where you can just go, oh yes, you have to, you can just come out of it. It is not tangible because I mean, it is steeped in inside humans. Say you can't by looking at someone you can't tell if he's a racist or not, right? So you can't, there isn't a software or something where fans entering the stadium you can scan them, see if he's a racist or not. This doesn't make any sense, right? Hence you can't really do anything inside the stadium, because if say some random fan starts to shout something racist, what can you do? That's the problem, right? Currently, because the fans are not in the stadium, it's on social media. And again, social media racism can be stopped. Actually, it just has to be by the social media companies, by putting
The
some
most you
stricter
can do is
regulations for
probably
creations of
make an
accounts.
example of a racist person. Like if a person is racist within a stadium, ban him for life. If because
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
what they
lot
do,
of
right?
cameras, then there are ways that if so. I think that persisting with this is going to drop inside the stadium. Now, social media companies have to provide all the support we can to try and stop all racism by all means.
I
So I
think
think
we should
I think we
wrap things up.
went
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
pretty different path today, and I think I enjoyed it a lot. We'll keep this one a bit short too, and I don't think we'll be giving any predictions about the final, because we're going to be doing another video for the predictions of the Europa and the Champions League final, where we're going to be talking to other people and listening to their views and what they think might happen. So that's going to be a very good episode. Stay tuned to that. It's going to come next week or in 2 weeks time. Anyways, whenever it comes, we'll keep you updated. So
before
I
UEFA,
think this is it
before
for
the
this week.
finals.
Yeah,
But City's gonna take it. That's just
no.
all I'm gonna say.
So
City's
let's
gonna.
just end it here before I start another rant. So let's just end
Exactly.
it.
That's what I just said. We should end it here, but I should just mention it. Anyways, thank you.